Well, hello there. Yeah, just a quick one. I seen the video only yesterday of Garnacho with old Eric Ten Hag, that is, taking you through the day as Garnacho signed his improved long-term contract with Man United. And just a couple of quick thoughts on it. I mean, firstly, I'm over the moon he signed. I think he's a wonderful talent that hopefully will be at our club for many a year. More about that at the end of this short message. But my biggest take from the whole thing was Ten Hag and his performance throughout the video. It was about 6-7 minutes long. It took you through the day of Garnacho arriving at the ground with all of his family members and friends and what have you, maybe even girlfriend there, I'm assuming. And then before they signed, not just after they signed, you had Ten Hag stood up in a private room with all family members, with Garnacho, shook his hand a couple of times, and he made a bit of a speech to Garnacho's family, to his mum and dad. And I thought it was inspiring. But I thought it was also at the same time it was great and really on the money. Eric was saying, look, you know, you've signed a new long-term contract. It's massively improved terms. I think it's about 50 grand a week. Let's hope it doesn't go to his head. It has to many before him. Let's hope it doesn't. But he said the work starts now, Ten Hag said. You know, from today, today's a new day. You've signed your new improved contract. And he virtually said, we want a new improved you. As in, we want you to work even harder. We want you to knuckle down more. And I think he was probably having a veiled dig at some of the things we'd read about in the press in the past about Garnacho's timekeeping and persona around the ground from time to time because of his newfound fame. And I just think he wanted, as I say, a Garnacho that really becomes a professional footballer now and does as he's told, when he's told, and toes the line. Because if we get that from him, he's going to be a world beater. And it was my thoughts on Ten Hag more than anything else. Every time I see him, he impresses me more. Every single time. I think he's great, and I think there's great things ahead for United because at last we've got the right manager. He's a proper manager. As I said in my past video, my Mason Greenwood video, you may or may not have seen it. Only 15 have. It was in the early days, 3 weeks ago. But as I said at the time, I probably believe Greenwood's going to be gotten rid of by the board, all for the wrong reasons. It'll all be down to commercial revenues and sponsorship. But were he to stay, and if we were to find out, he's not been found guilty for a start. If we do find out there's contrition there on his part, and maybe if we do find out there's something behind that audio tape we heard, something that really isn't 100% genuine, and he were to stay, for all I love Garnacho and I do, he wouldn't even get into my starting 11. He just wouldn't. Because I'm sure we're going to get Harry Kane or someone of that ilk, but I would imagine and hope it will be Harry. For me, it's Rashford on the left, Harry through the middle, and Greenwood on the right. The only concern there will be the time that Greenwood's had out. I nearly died to find it's like, if he starts next season, at the start of the season, he's going to have like 2.5 years out. It's a long time out, is that? Mind you, he's got youth on his side, he's got age on his side, and a long pre-season, he could be fine. But for me, Garnacho wouldn't get in initially, but he'd be a wonderful backup if any of them got injured or weren't playing at the best. The only way for me he would get in, as I've said, is if we didn't get Kane or a top centre forward, we'd have Rashford on one side, Garnacho on the other, and Greenwood through the middle. For all, Rashford's had a fantastic year goal scoring. For my money, Greenwood would have done every bit as good or better. He's the better finisher, he's just more clinical, the better footballer, the better everything. But hopefully if you had Greenwood, you'd have him either through the middle, and if he was playing on the right, you would hopefully get an improved fullback behind him to give him better service than you would get off Wan-Bissaka. But that's another story. This was about Garnacho and Ten Hag, and he always ended up on Wan-Bissaka. I'm sorry about that, I shouldn't be, but I've got a bee in my bonnet there. So anyway, yeah, fantastic news he signed. Love him to bits, think he's great, think he's only going to get better. But it was mainly Ten Hag's performance throughout the whole piece. I thought Ten Hag did really well, and he's really laid on the line what he expects of his young player now. And let's hope Garnacho delivers and toes the line and does as he's told, and we've got a great player there going forward. All good, if you ask me, all good.